I love Burroughs. I knew that if I got accepted here, this is where I was going to go.
It's like you have a second family. It's a home away from home.
I like that Burroughs is a small school. It gives you a chance to get to know a lot of people and develop close relationships with many different kinds of people.
Oh, I love this place.
It's as good as can get for a school.
It's a really great place to become an individual.
It's such a family here, and they take you in as one of their own. And the opportunities afforded to you by Burroughs just can take you so far.
Carolyn?
I also talked about the paralysis, and I talked about Evelyn and Araby.
Mm-hmm.
And something I noticed in both the stories is that both of the characters were given an opportunity. You know, such as Evelyn was given the opportunity to leave, but she couldn't. And
I started out thinking I'm looking for a school, an independent school, coeducational, with the highest academic standards in the community. And over and over and over again, you hear, that's John Burroughs. The quality of the teachers, the quality of the courses, the emphasis that's placed not only on biology and math, history, but also on the arts and the athletics, really contributes to the whole child, and that's really what I was looking for.
I like that the school never fails to challenge me. It never has. When I was a student here, when I was a teacher here, it never failed to challenge me. I like also that the school brings me to honesty and brings me to truth again and again and again in the classroom, in interactions, in the work that I do in preparation for the classroom. And I think if one looks for it here, if one allows it here, the school presses us to a kind of self-truth and truth about others that is quite marvelous.
It is one place that is truly yet a liberal arts institution. It asks people to think in a real serious way, not to accept, but to think.
Study will help. Left won't matter. If we have questions, can we come in?
Well, when I first came here from a very traditional background in England, it seemed to me that this place was chaotic. There were children lying in the halls, there was no uniform. But bit by bit I discovered that this chaos was actually rather a creative chaos, and that in a classroom people were not at all inhibited from asking questions from all over the map.
Yeah, so and the pigs represent those of us in politics. Maybe. And right. they want power.
At Burroughs we were always encouraged to speak freely and to live fully, really. And it was fun, you know. I mean, we had the opportunity to do a lot of things that seemed pretty natural at the time, but in retrospect, probably had more freedom than most schools, but in a way that encouraged growth and responsibility.
I think of it as a small university, very, very open for the students to pursue what they're interested in. We give the kids a lot of freedoms, and they rise to the occasion.
You don't push your boundaries. You never figure out what's on the next side.
I think it pushes you to
There's another boundary.
explore things that you might not otherwise be interested in, that you can really learn about here, and it also accommodates whatever interests you had before you came here.
So it's a very, I don't like the term, but a very well-rounded experience when you're here, and there is absolutely a place for everyone to shine.
Art class in 7th grade, it was like the first time that I was introduced to like different forms of art. Like it wasn't just let's draw, let's cut, let's paste. It was let's talk about art history. Let's talk about what people have done before and how people have seen the world and how they've decided to draw it and how they've decided to portray it.
I take painting and drawing and photography and Greek, and I'm also on a field hockey team.
This year I'm doing painting and drawing, which I enjoy, and band. I'm in the jazz band.
2, 3, and... If all else fails, be with me on the last note.
1, 2, 3, I say blue, you say gold, blue, 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 blue. I say number, you say one, number one, number one. I say me, you say with you, me, with you, me, blue, blue, gold, number one, me, with you,
Burroughs believes that when you come here, you don't just study, that you're doing activities and athletics and arts. And it's about learning to be a team, learning to be supportive, learning to be good sports, learning to lose well and win well. And most of our kids are winners when they come here, and we think they learn things on the fields that they might not learn in the classrooms. And I think on the whole, the kids have a good time doing it.
I think for me, the most important thing at John Burroughs was the opportunity to participate in athletics, which I probably wouldn't have had in a public high school, and the self-confidence it gave me to be a member of a team.
The way the PE program is structured at Burroughs, it pushes you to try all different sports.
I guess in my mind that sports can be the most important part of a person's life at John Burroughs School. I think if you ask players 20, 30 years from now what they remember about the school, they will remember something that had to do with athletics. They'll remember something that had to do with some kind of team competition. They'll remember something that they did, something a friend did. It's one of the happier times of their lives.
You gotta suck it up.
No, you gotta suck it up. This is where you find out what you made of. We all compete in life, and that's a part of sports, is learning to compete and yet at the same time learning to enjoy each other in that competition.
Je ne veux pas me marier, répétai-je en criant à peine. Il faut qu'elle a répété 2 fois.
I think it's really important to learn another language, so you're not just stuck in your own culture. Instead, you go out and explore other cultures.
¿Cuál es tu oración? Repite la oración.
We start languages at the 7th grade, and they can start either French or Latin or Spanish or German.
Margit, möchtest du viel Tee oder nicht so viel Tee? Nicht so viel Tee. Und du brauchst eine große Tasse Tee mit dem kleinen Stück Kuchen, ja? Ja.
Do you remember what was remarkable about this statue? We are certainly studying language, but we're doing that so that we can appreciate some of the greatest literature the world has ever seen. And we're appreciating it in the original. We're not taking somebody else's word for it. And I think that again is something that characterizes the Burroughs experience, whether it be in science or in mathematics or in Latin. You are taken to the source.
Dryland is an ecology study that we take all of our 9th graders through. It's a field and stream study of the ecosystems here at Dryland in the Ozarks. It was started in about 25 years ago, named one of the 10 best programs in the United States in the mid-'80s. The students do biotic and abiotic studies in both the forest and the stream. They look at plants and they look at trees, they look at animals, they do soil chemistry. In the stream they do water chemistry, we seine, we catch fish, we look for invertebrates, we key them out, we build food pyramids of all kinds in the forest and in the stream. It's really an impressive study.
Another thing we can ask is the density constant?
Of all the things they do in biology, it is probably the most important. When seniors come back, when graduates come back, it is the one thing that they remember from their biology program.
All of the students, while they're here, go down to Dryland, and it is part of this John Burroughs ecological bond that we have that goes through all of our departments. If there is a common theme, that is it.
Well, the faculty is the great strength of the school. I think they deliver the goods for the students. It's not these buildings, it's not the administrator, it's not their parents. The only one who actually teaches is the faculty. And it's my highest priority is to get a good faculty. As any good headmaster, that's the number one thing.
We were translating 2 points here, weren't we? And if we have 2 points, what do we really have, Christina?
A segment.
And if we have a segment, what else do we really have, Greg?
A line.
A line. Therefore, can we really say that we did a line here as well as talking about one over here? You don't think so? I do, but that's okay. We don't have to agree.
No question in my mind that the faculty here is a standout. It is probably one of the main features that would attract anyone to this school.
What is the probability that if I select at random someone from this set, just from this universe right up there, if I just pick somebody out, what's the probability that I'll have a girl and she will have some hair color other than brown?
The teachers really work with you a lot. I'm not a very good math student, but I had a teacher last year who really, really helped me, and he made sure that I learned everything.
They truly do think of you as a person and not just a math student or not just their advisee.
They connect with the students, they give students advice about a number of things. And that's what I remember about my years here as well. Teachers who cared a lot about the students as people.
But then it'll be summer. Burroughs has about 20% of its students on scholarship, about $850,000 a year. If you think about it, it's more than an entire class, more than an entire sixth of the school. The average scholarship is about $9,000. It's socioeconomically diverse, and our scholarship program really enables us to do that, and we're very grateful to the donors who've given the scholarships. It's very important to the school.
There are times when you're working really hard, and you feel like you're a little overwhelmed, but in the end it's really rewarding when you'll get a good grade and you'll be like, wow, I really worked hard for that and I deserve that.
You guys remember the different projections. What's the difference?
I had taken a course at University of Missouri here in St. Louis in geology and took one of the tests that I took in that class and gave the test to these students thinking we'll just see how much they really can learn, and it ended up being 50-50 A's and B's.
They're willing to go with you to places that you want to lead them, and I'm certainly willing to go to places where they care to lead.
One engages with the kids. It doesn't do to talk at them. You have to be in there with them, thinking with them, on your feet, mostly.
Next outcome is no. So the process of rolling the die is a process, but the outcomes are, what's the key word? If you can show them that intellectually this can be interesting and an intellectual challenge, they'll meet you more than halfway. They'll go very far and meet you. And that's what's exciting, because they get excited about the ideas. And they sit in the hall, and you can hear them talking about ideas. Not just social things, but actually ideas. You can You can stand here with that door open and hear kids talk about things like the Pythagorean theorem or some of the Shakespeare plays they're reading. You hear them talking about those ideas.
That was really boring yesterday. I got one.
In 10 years, 20 years, I might not remember the facts that I learned in history or how to solve a certain problem in math, but I'll always have the knowledge of how to learn and how to be a student, I think.
Extraordinary thing about John Burroughs School is the relationships that are formed between students and faculty. They are penetrating. They are mutually respectful. And many students never forget them. Never forget them. This is an extraordinary group of adults working with kids, an extraordinary group of kids.
There's so much energy, positive energy, like you just swing into things.
The teaching methods of Burroughs, I think, are more and more about filling yourself with good things.
Graduating from Burroughs was one of the most proud moments in my life. What an achievement that was. It was such a wonderful experience being at Burroughs, but anyone who's been here or who knows Burroughs knows what a challenge it is to get through.
I love that moment in Graduation Grove when, in the green and the beauty of a June evening, a group of students walk to that natural dais and receive graduation and commencement at once. I am very much moved by and swelled by the faculty leading the senior class into the grove and the students following and our joining in that bowl as community to celebrate the work that we do here.
Does anyone have any job? Sarah, your friend.
What was that?
None of you have ever seen a dead dog?
20 minutes ago.